in your area.
From the station that's on your side, News 12, first at 5, continues.
Investigators working right now to find any leads from 4 shootings and a stabbing in 2 counties in the span of 12 hours. Altogether, 8 people have been shot, 2 of them died, 1 person was stabbed. One shooting on East Telfair Street left 2 women dead and another 2 women with injuries. And today we're finding out the names of those 2 victims who lost their lives.
The coroner says they are 26-year-old Tisha Moulton and 40-year-old Latoya Oglesby. Our Celeste Springer has been talking with law enforcement and people who knew those victims. She's live in the studio with what she's learned.
The Richmond County Sheriff's Office is trying to piece it all together. Investigators tell me they don't think these string of shootings are connected, but they do know 4 women were shot inside an apartment on Telfair Street. And they believe that killer is out there. This was the scene last night as police lights covered Magnolia Court apartment complex. 2 were taken to the hospital and the other 2 died at the scene at around 6:30. I spoke to many people who live nearby today. Most did not want to go on camera, but I asked if they felt safe living in the area. Answers were mixed. But I did speak to one woman who tells me she knew one of the women who passed away.
I feel a little safe before I came when I first moved down here, but then like a couple of years later, it started getting worse. And that's not the only time that the shooting happened up here in the apartment. But it's not safe no more for the kids or anybody.
The sheriff's office does not want to go into a lot of specifics because this is an open investigation. But if you have any information, of course, they want these people caught, so call them if you have any tips.
In a separate shooting, one man is in jail for allegedly shooting 2 women on Deansbridge Road in broad daylight yesterday afternoon. Deputies say 22-year-old Gerard Fowler shot those 2 women, and he now faces aggravated assault charges. This was the scene as deputies and ambulances got to that scene. Deputies say they found one woman, she was shot in the arm, another had been shot in the leg. They say it all started after Fowler and another man got into an argument. They say Fowler went to his car, grabbed an AR-15, firing 1 shot, which hit a woman who is allegedly in a relationship with Fowler. Deputies say she was trying to stop the argument. According to the incident report, another woman was hit by a ricochet from the bullet. Both women are in the hospital, but deputies say their injuries are not life-threatening. Today, we're learning the first shooting in the string of violence happened at 2:20 yesterday afternoon, and deputies are still looking for a suspect in that case. This shooting happened on Miranda Road across from Peach Orchard Road near Believers Gospel Chapel. Deputies tell us they found one man with a gunshot wound to the leg. Very limited details, but we've reached out to the sheriff's office for more information.
And early this morning in Aiken, deputies say they found a man with stab wounds on Oscaga Lake Road near Greg's Gas Plus. He was taken to a hospital for treatment. We're waiting to hear more about his condition and a possible suspect in that crime. Also in Aiken, one woman shot in the shoulder just before 8:30 last night. Deputies say this happened on Happiness Lane. Right now, they're still working to identify a suspect in that. New today, officials are searching for a missing person on the Broad River in Lincoln County near the lake. Georgia DNR tells us someone found an empty boat there, which sparked the search. DNR has game wardens helping right now.
The Lincoln County Coroner's Office says they are not involved in the case yet, so that is some good news. But this comes less than a month after 2 boaters drowned in Clarks Hill Lake in Lincoln County. We do have crews on the way to the scene to find out a little bit more, and we'll take you live as soon as we can.
Much more news ahead if we have a look outside.
Out of the east-northeastern sky. We'll have a look at that full weekend forecast in just about 10 minutes.
Thanks, Riley. Today, family in the city of Charleston are speaking out after body cam video comes out of an inmate who died in custody at the Charleston County Jail. This happened back in January. As a warning, the video is disturbing to watch. This is video of police in Charleston trying to detain Jamal Sutherland using tasers and force to do that. Deputies say they were trying to take Sutherland out of his cell for a bond hearing. He died after this interaction. He was in jail for about 12 hours before he died.
This is body cam footage from Sutherland being booked into the Al Cannon Detention Center, where deputies say he was having a mental episode. They say he was dealing with mental issues at the time of his arrest. Sutherland was taken to the jail after police responded to a fight at the Palmetto Behavioral Center. Sutherland's mom says he was dealing with mental health issues, but that didn't mean he should die.
Mental illness does not give anybody the right to put their hands on my child. That's my child. brother and his fathers, they loved Jamal. Jamal was good. I had 16 surgeries. Jamal never left my side.
The mayor of Charleston says there's no reason for the treatment Jamal got in the video.
What we saw on that tape was so senseless. It was horrible. I looked at it and what rationale could there be for the treatment that Jamal received?
The mayor says the city will continue investigating to get justice in the case.
And they're talking about this case right now live. Let's listen in.
About that, and I will address that. The officers involved are in administrative capacity pending the outcome of our internal investigation. Our internal investigation is currently underway, and we're working towards a timely conclusion. I want to answer questions, but I need to respect that process. And I anticipate that this investigation will be concluded soon. Per our current policy, I suspended the officers involved, and I had 30 days to make a final determination on their employment status. At the conclusion of that 30 days, SLED still had not finalized their review, and I didn't have all the answers. And at my discretion and based on my policy, I put them back on in an administrative capacity. They essentially have desk jobs pending the outcome of this investigation. They do not have any contact with any of the residents of our facility. I know there is a concern and a lot of questions.
Again, the Sheriff's Office in Charleston County talking about the death and custody of Jamal Sutherland. We'll have much more on this story as it develops. Moving ahead now, 6 people have been arrested, 2 more suspects on the loose after a shooting outside a Waffle House in Washington County. These are the 2 men still on the loose. Terrence Oliver, also known as T. Black, and Jatarius Sanders. Warrants have been issued for both of them in connection with the shooting.
And here are the mugshots of 5 of the people who've been arrested. The other is a juvenile, so we won't be showing you their mugshot, but the shooting happened over the weekend. A woman was shot and taken to the hospital, and police tell us they think it was gang-related. They also believe it had some ties to some other shootings that happened over a 3-day period back in April.
A teenage murder suspect pleading not guilty in court today. Officials say Willett King was arrested back on June 20th of last year for allegedly killing his cousin and shooting another man. He was 15 when the crime happened. On top of the murder charges, he also faces weapons and aggravated assault charges. And because he's still a juvenile, we do not have a mugshot to show you.
Funeral plans have been set for both Ian Wilson and E.J. Kirk. The best friends drowned in Clark Hill Lake late last month. And after they disappeared in the lake, it took officials about a week to recover their bodies. E.J. Kirk's family will have his funeral tomorrow. It'll be at 11 a.m. over at Westover Memorial Park. It's on Wheeler Road. Ian Wilson's family will host his funeral next Tuesday at Hillcrest Memorial Park on Deansbridge Road. That one starts at 3. And after the funeral, there will be a cookout at Meadowbrook Park to celebrate their lives.
And new today, Columbia County school officials say they're dealing with computer problems. They're working to get the systems back online. The superintendent says they're investigating the issue with the third-party forensic specialist. Officials say if there's been any security breach of anyone's information, they will let parents know. They say the investigation on this could take a few weeks.
Today, Governor Kemp extends the state of emergency for the fuel shortage until next Saturday. Colonial Pipeline officials say fuel is moving, but right now it's only moving 3 to 5 miles per hour.
So they've got a ways to go before they're back to full capacity, but it'll take several more days to get the gas back into tank farms, into the fuel trucks, and then eventually to our gas stations. Now, experts worry over parts of our infrastructure that could still be attacked, from fuel to power to nuclear plants, water systems, banks. Even hospitals could be vulnerable to an attack.
Our critical infrastructures and other important business systems are no longer subject to the threat only of being spied on by others, but actually being attacked by others.
So far, U.S. ransomware costs are up to $350 million. That is a 300% increase from last year, and we're only 5 months into the year.